The most famous UFO encounter in modern history just got turned upside down. For 20 years, the Tic-Tac incident has been the crown jewel of UFO disclosure, military witnesses, radar data, infrared video, and technology that seemed impossible. But what if it was never an alien at all? Investigative journalist Ross Coulthart just revealed something that some say they've known since the beginning, while others are in absolute shock that maybe the Tic-Tac is actually Lockheed Martin technology. And if that's true, it means our most advanced defense contractors have breakthrough technology that they're not sharing with the Pentagon, at least from what the public knows. Take a listen.
I now know categorically that the Tic-Tac is Lockheed Martin technology. Categorically.
Okay.
The Tic-Tac is Lockheed Martin technology. Why are we being lied to? This is the issue. Why is the United States government now participating at White House executive level in collusion with the national security state to keep secret the fact that they've made these advances? I suspect it's because they've realized that they're being overtaken by their foreign adversaries, and they don't want you to know that.
So you're saying Lockheed Martin might, or anybody, but Lockheed Martin in this particular case, has a Tic-Tac that they are testing and have been testing and have access to, but they might not have shared it with the Defense Department of the United States, which probably paid for it in their $1 trillion budgets. Why are you saying this, by the way? Where is this from? How do we know this? What's going on?
I'm sorry, Bryce, I can't go there. But what I'm telling you is I'm increasingly thinking that we're not looking at the right issue. The issue isn't, is there NHI? There is, absolutely there is, and the US knows that, full-blown, beyond any shadow of a doubt. And they know that they're trying to develop technology from that NHI tech, and it's been a secret now for 80, 90 years that they've desperately tried to keep using intimidation, threats, murder, and it's failed. It's slowly starting to creak open.
Hey, ufologers, I'm Cristina Gomez, and welcome to this episode of UFO News Updates. In the latest episode of Need to Know, Ross Coulthart spoke with Bryce Zabel and stated chronologically that the famous Tic-Tac encounter from the USS Nimitz in 2004, the incident that launched 1,000 UFO documentaries, is actually advanced technology developed by Lockheed Martin. According to Ross, this isn't speculation. Think about what this means. If Lockheed Martin has technology that can drop from 80,000 feet to sea level in less than a second, technology that appears to have no visible means of propulsion, technology that Commander Fravor said was far superior to anything we had, why wasn't this deployed to defend America? Why are we still sending risky rocket ships out into space when we have technology like this? And where is Lockheed even testing this technology? If we really do have this technology in our hands, shouldn't we be going to the moon tomorrow or something like that? This is incredible tech. And if we are in possession of it, are we really using it to our best ability? And another big question is, why are pilots still being deployed to look at these craft if, actually they're Lockheed Martin? Why put people's lives at risk for something that we should know what it is? If you enjoy UFO news, updates, case studies, and interviews, then I think you will like this channel. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and share this episode with those that you want to keep in the know with the latest UFO news. And remember what David Fravor said during the 2023 UFO congressional hearing? He mentioned this.
And what is your general interpretation of these phenomena, or what is your current thinking of trying to make sense of them?
Well, I'll say, I'm not like a UFO fanatic. It's not me, but I will tell you that what we saw with 4 sets of eyes over a 5-minute period, still, we have nothing close to it. It was amazing to see. I told my buddy I wanted to fly it, but yeah, it's just an incredible technology.
But Ross's Tic-Tac revelation is just the beginning. He believes we're facing an even more immediate threat, one that's been operating with impunity over America's most sensitive military installations. A 60-minute investigation revealed that mysterious drones have been conducting incursions over U.S. military bases for over 6 years. And General Glenn Van Herk, the former commander of NORAD and NORTHCOM, the agencies responsible for protecting American airspace, admitted on national television that we should be concerned that we don't know what these are.
Why don't we just shoot them down?
Well, first, you have to have the capability to detect, track, identify, make sure it's not a civilian airplane flying around. If you can do that, Bill, then it becomes a safety issue for the American public. Firing missiles in our homeland is not taken lightly.
We're not able to track them. We're not able to see where they originate.
No, it's a capability gap. Certainly, they can come and go from any direction. The FBI is looking at potential options, but they don't have an answer right now.
And the most dramatic example occurred at Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, home to America's most advanced stealth fighters. And for 17 consecutive nights in December of 2023, swarms of unknown drones, appeared over the facilities. And the threat was so serious that the Air Force was forced to relocate F-22 Raptors, which are aircraft worth over $100 million each, to a nearby base for protection. And this wasn't an isolated incident. Similar incursions have occurred over nuclear facilities, critical infrastructures, and military installations across the United States and nations as well. I'm talking about Germany, England, Sudan, just to name a few. And then you had Roger Wicker, chairman of the Armed Services Committee, told 60 Minutes that these are spying incursions, yet the Pentagon admits they can't track, identify, or even stop them. Here's what Ross had to say about that.
And this is the implication not only from my Senator Mike Round's interview, but also from the interview that General Glenn Van Herk, the former head of NORTHCOM and NORAD, did to 60 Minutes Bill Whitaker a few months ago. They basically admitted that there's someone operating with impunity over the continental United States, flying so-called drone technology. These drones are not using known propulsion systems. They're not using jets. They're not using propellers. They're not using any kind of known turbine propulsion system that emits the kind of heat that we're used to from that kind of technology. The suggestion is they're using some type of electrogravitics. And my sources are telling me that the big story that, frankly, the US doesn't want you to know about right now, the story that's not being discussed in the media, is the implications of the admissions made by General Glenn Van Herk, in particular, to 60 Minutes, which kind of went through the gate and were largely ignored by most other media, but which I think are incredibly significant. You had two generals, Glenn being one of them, essentially admitting they are powerless to act against some kind of drone technology which is technologically superior to what we've got, operating with impunity, apparent impunity, over some of the most sensitive military bases in the United States.
According to Ross's sources, which we don't know who they are, this isn't random drone activity. The initial wave of incursions was a calculated demonstration by China, showing they can operate advanced aircraft over America's most secure facilities without consequences. It was, in his words, a big FU from China, demonstrating technology that makes traditional air defenses obsolete. That is crazy. If what Ross is saying is true, wouldn't that start a war between the United States and China? This brings us to perhaps the most significant claim, that multiple world powers have achieved breakthroughs in electrogravitics, essentially anti-gravity technology that could revolutionize everything from energy production to space travel. The original Tic-Tac encounter data, analyzed by physicist Kevin Knuth and published in a peer-reviewed scientific journal, revealed impossible flight characteristics. The craft accelerated at forces that would have destroyed any known aircraft, over 5,000 times the force of gravity. It displayed no aerodynamic flight surfaces, no visible propulsion, produced no sonic boom despite supersonic speeds, and generated no detectable heat signature despite what should have required hundreds of gigawatts of power. Ross suggests that what we're witnessing isn't just advanced drones, but a fundamental breakthrough in physics that makes conventional aerospace technology obsolete. The Byfield-Brown electrogravitics research from the 1950s, long dismissed by mainstream science, may have continued in classified programs for decades. Take a listen.
Is they're wrestling with the argument that's coming back to them from the people in the national security state who are the gatekeepers. And the gatekeepers are saying, if you do this, you're going to throw the baby away with the bathwater. You know, we've developed technology. We have a great advantage over our rivals. And my sources are telling me that's rubbish. That in fact, what the drones incursions show is an adversary, a potential foreign adversary, was on the admission of two senior generals who spoke to 60 Minutes, able to operate over our most sensitive military bases with absolute impunity. Why has the White House conspired in a cover-up to describe these as FAA-authorized research drones? It's such a patently ridiculous story. And I think what's happened is there's been a huge national security caveat come down on this, basically because they just don't want to admit that they've been caught napping. That the United States has complacently assumed that they were ahead on this technology for so many years, and that the Russians and the Chinese, and particularly the Chinese, have stolen the march on them.
Now, here's where things get really interesting. While Ross reveals that the Tic-Tac is Lockheed Martin technology, let's take a look at what happened in New Jersey during Thanksgiving weekend last year, and the geographical connection that might not be coincidental. New Jersey wasn't just experiencing random mysterious drone activity. The state hosts multiple critical military installations, including the massive joint base McGuire-Dix-Lakehurst, one of the largest military complexes on the East Coast. But here's what actually makes this really fascinating. Lockheed Martin operates a major facility in Morristown, New Jersey, specifically focused on drone testing and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. And they only have a few facilities in the United States, one in New Jersey, one in Colorado, and one in California that all focus on creating drones. And according to a DoD report, New Jersey's military infrastructure is vast and strategically crucial. But the New Jersey situation has escalated beyond anything that we've seen before. A Coast Guard commanding officer reported to Representative Chris Smith that his 47-foot vessel was pursued by between 12 and 30 drones while traveling through New Jersey waters. You have to listen to what the New Jersey sheriff talked about to NewsNation.
After we made contact with that officer, that there were 50 that came off the ocean. 50? 50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat, and they reported seeing 13 following their boat, and then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
The official response has been a masterclass in contradiction. You have Congressman Jeff Van Drew, who claimed that the drones were being launched from the Iranian mothership off the coast. And then the very same day, the Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh denied it was an Iranian mothership, while also stating it wasn't U.S. military or foreign adversary. So if it's not Iranian, not ours, and not a foreign adversary, what exactly are we dealing with? If Ross's revelations prove accurate, then we're not dealing just with government secrecy. We're looking at a fundamental breakdown in how America manages its most critical technologies. What do you think is really going on? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. That is it for today. I will see you next time. Be safe, and remember, keep your eyes on the skies.
If you enjoy the strange and the mysterious, UFOs, the paranormal, and cryptids, this channel is for you. So make sure to subscribe, as I do 3 videos right here every single week, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss any of the bonus content I post right here.